Yeah, so welcome back. In our last class, we were talking about the fifth unit, which basically deals with your software quality assurance. And in the initial part, we were looking into what basically the process is, and where we said that okay, this is something which is the sequence of steps performed, and then we said that okay, for this we need to have certain tools or equipment, and then we need to have people with software skills, not only software skills but skills and training, and they need to have some motivation. And then we move to uh, look into what basically the software process is. Then we looked into the software process capability. Then we talked about software process performance, and then the software process maturity, and this basically we talked about organizational culture and the institutionalization, and then we talked about software quality assurance, where we gave some amount of time in this particular discussion. Then we looked into how to appraise the software process maturity, where we took this particular content from Humphrey's book, which is titled as Managing the Software Process. And then we said that okay, it's better to look into the SPA, which is your software process assessment, then the software capability evaluation, and then we said that okay, let's throw some light on maturity questionnaire. And then in today's class we have to talk about CMM, right? So as the term suggests, that this CMM is nothing but the capability maturity model, right? So we were talking about the maturity questionnaires and all, but here we are going to categorize, and what we are going to categorize, that we will see in the coming slides. So let's look into the sequence of events that led to this particular capability maturity model. So see, one thing which to note is that this CMM is somewhat similar to your ISO 9001. So this standard is from the series of 9000, specified by your ISO, which is your International Organization for Standardization. So this ISO 9000 specify an effective quality system for manufacturing and service industry, right? These days you see that okay, the institutes are also coming up with this ISO 9000 certifications and all. And in case of this ISO certification, 9001 is dealing specifically with your software development and post development, the maintenance part as well. And in fact, so, basically the ISO 9000 series is dealing with services and other manufacturing processes. So 9001 specifically is talking about your software development and maintenance. Here the main difference between the two systems lies in their respective purposes, where 9001 specifies minimal acceptable quality level for software processes. That means the software processes should have a particular minimal quality level acceptance, right? Whereas in case of CMM, it basically establishes a framework for continuous process improvement, and is more explicit than ISO standard. So there are several levels. We'll see what these things are, but before that, let's look into the timeline of it. And somewhere around November 1986, your SEI, what basically SEI is, we have already talked about this. So SEI is nothing but your Software Engineering Institute, and this MITRE is nothing but not-for-profit organization based in Bedford, Massachusetts. So that looks into your recruitments and then several other stuffs as well. Now, so this particular MITRE and HEI started on a process maturity framework for enhancing the software process. And somewhere around 1987, SEI released the brief description of software process maturity framework. Now this framework is nothing but the expanded version in Humphrey's book managing the software process, right? So previously we were talking about this Humphrey's book, right? Where so here it was like how to appraise software process maturity. Then there we looked into your software process assessment, software capability evaluation, and maturity questionnaires, right? And this CMM is nothing but dealing with capability and maturity both. Now, coming back to this, so in 1987 they released this particular maturity framework, and finally in 1991 this SEI evolved this maturity framework into your capability maturity model for software, which is called as the CMM. And then we have several versions of it, and it is evolving, right? It's improving day by day. So this particular CMM, is a development model. So which is created after study of data collected from organizations that contracted with the US Department of Defense, right? So this Department of Defense funded this particular research. And here the term maturity relates to the degree of formality and optimization of processes. That means how formal our process is. From ad hoc practices to formally defined steps, and to manage the result matrix in order to have the active optimization of the processes. The basic aim of this particular model is to improve the existing software development process, and further it can be applied to other processes as well. And it is nothing but some processes which are based on the actual practices. This particular model reflects the best of state of the practice. That means for any process, what's the best practice, that will be included in this particular model. And this particular model reflects the needs of individuals performing software process improvement and software process appraisal as well. This particular thing is well documented and is publicly available as well. So basically your CMM focuses on process as a way to empower the people doing the work. And originally it was developed as a tool for objectively assessing the ability of government contractors' processes to implement a contracted software project. So this particular model is based on the process maturity framework. So this particular process maturity framework was first described in IEEE software, and later on in this Humphrey's book as well. Further, it was published in a report in the year 1993, and then we had the book in the year 1995 with the same name. So later on, then we had some additions to the CMM as well, where studying the non-software organization also came into picture. That means now this particular model was applied to the non-software organizations as well. Then performing and observing software process assessments and software capability evaluations, soliciting and analyzing the change requests to the model, then further participating in meetings and workshops and industry and government representatives, and soliciting the feedback from industry and the government reviewers. This CMM is nothing but a living document and will continue to evolve with the software field as we develop a true engineering discipline and continue to learn about effective software process management. Right? So we are reaching a higher degree of formalism through this particular model. Somewhere in the 1980s, when the use of computers grew more widespread, the organizations began to adopt computerized information systems. And when this demand for software development grew significantly, many processes for software development were there in the infancy, and there was a search of finding the best practice approaches. So this particular model takes care of all these issues, that yes, we'll take care of following the best standards or best practices. Now let's see the difference between the immature and the mature software organizations. In case of immature software organizations, the software processes are improvised by practitioners and their managers during the course of the project. And if the software process is specified, it is not religiously specified or enforced upon. The organizations are reactionary and managers are usually focused on solving the immediate crisis, that is, a firefighting goes on, so they look for the immediate solution for the immediate crisis. No, they don't look for a long-term plan. Then there isn't any objective basis for judging product quality or for solving the product or the process problems. If there are if there are some problems associated with the product or the process, then we don't have any objective in order to resolve these particular issues. Then we have like activities intended to enhance the quality, such as review and testing. These are often curtailed or eliminated when project falls behind the schedule. So what we do is we take some shortcuts. That in order to get the things done in time, we take some shortcuts. For that sake, we sacrifice this particular thing. And this is happening in case of your immature software organizations. You have a number of examples in front of you. We have many of these organizations. They take these shortcuts and come up with less quality applications. Now, in case of mature software organization, from the title itself, you might have got some idea that okay, must be having some experience and of course some wisdom as well. So the organization possesses wide ability for managing software development and the maintenance process. That's what the aim was for CMM. It accurately communicates the software process to the both existing staff and new employees and carries out work activities according to planned process. All the processes are well documented, usable, and consistent with the way the work actually gets done. All the role and responsibilities within the process are clear throughout the project and across the organization. Managers monitor the quality of software products and the process that produce them. Schedules and budgets are based on historical performance and are realistic. See, as I said that everything is well documented, so I have the past data. I can take a call on the current project based on some historical performance and some historical data as well. So next is your TQM, which stands for Total Quality Management. So this TQM and the CMM, the purpose is to achieve lasting results from the process improvement efforts, and CMM is an application of the process management concepts of TQM to the software. Right. Now, this total quality management is the continual process of detecting and reducing or eliminating errors in manufacturing, streamline supply chain management, improve, and in case of software fields as well, improving the customer experience and ensuring that employees are up to speed with training. TQM aims to hold all parties, all the stakeholders involved in the production process, who are accountable for the overall quality of the final product or the services. And this TQM is an ongoing process of detecting and reducing or eliminating some errors, if any. So it's like, once again, total quality management, a continuous process to improve the quality. It is used to manufacture, to streamline supply chain management. It is used to improve the customer service. It is used to ensure that employees are trained for that particular software application. Since we are dealing with software applications, so I am taking software application in the context, or else in any particular field, even in case of supply chain management or manufacturing or anywhere else. The focus of TQM is to improve the quality of an organization's output. That includes all the services, and that can be done through the continual improvement of the internal practices and the processes and procedures which are followed within the organization. The total quality management aims to hold all parties involved in the production process accountable for the overall quality of the final product or any service if they are providing. So this is how we apply the TQM to the software. So what we have is, in case of since TQM is a bigger umbrellas, in CMM is only taking care of the software, TQM is taking care of the system and is taking care of the entire organization as well, right? So services and anything and everything will be a part of your TQM. CMM is only focusing on software part, right? So multiple projects running in an organization, wherever we have software involved, CMM is taking care of that. For the rest of the things, that means the entire system, services or anything else, TQM is responsible for that particular thing. So CMM is nothing but a subset of TQM. So the goal of TQM is the entire customer satisfaction, right? That's what the ultimate aim should be. And this particular CMM does not explicitly says that customer should be satisfied or delighted with the software product, right? Whereas TQM says that, okay, I want a customer satisfaction. CMM says follow these guidelines in order to come up with a quality product. CMM states that vendor should work with customer to understand his requirements and build the software product as documented, right? Following the processes and procedures and well documented things. So delighting a customer should be more proactively addressed, right? Making the end user or the customer happy is the ultimate aim, right? That's what the business goal should be. Now, benefits and risk of model-based improvements. We have already talked about software. We will be using the CMM model. So, software process maturity framework is, in case of maturity level, this is something is well-defined evolutionary plateau towards achieving a mature software process. Each maturity level comprises of a set of process goals, and when satisfied, stabilizes an important component of the software process. Achieving each level of the maturity framework establishes a different component in the software process. This results in an increase in the process capability of the organization. Right, so we are not talking about the capability maturity model. Now here we have like several maturity level, and each maturity level is something which is well defined. It's something which is evolutionary and is something which is achieving a mature software process, right? So this CMM is a methodology or a framework which is used to develop and refine an organization's software development process, right? And this particular model describes a 5-level evolutionary path of increasingly organized and systematically more mature process, right? We are talking about maturity levels. These are the maturity levels. This was the aim of this is to optimize the process of developing, acquiring and maintaining heavily software reliant systems. Now there are several levels in this particular image which you can see. One is your initial, then it is repeatable, then we have defined, then we have managed, then we have optimizing. So we have like something which is a disciplined process, standard consistent process, then we have predictable process, then we have continuously improving process. In case of initial, the software process is characterized as ad hoc, and occasionally it is even chaotic as well. So few processes are defined and the success depends on individual efforts and the heroics. So as the name suggests, initial, so it is a characteristic of the process which here it is undocumented and there are dynamic changes in it, so the process becomes uncontrolled, right, and it's chaotic as well. Next is your repeatable. So the basic project management processes are established to track cost, schedule and functionality. The necessary process discipline is in place to repeat earlier successes on projects with similar applications, right? So it is a characteristic of this level of maturity that some processes are repeatable and possibly with consistent results as well. So the process discipline is unlikely to be rigorous, but where it exists, it may help to ensure that existing processes are maintained during the time of stress. Now the third one is your defined, right? So the software process is documented, in this case standardized and integrated into a standard software process for organization. It is a characteristic of processes at this level that there are a set of defined and documented standard processes, and we may find some degree of improvement over time as well. These standard processes are in place and may not be systematically or repeatedly used, but yet it is much more refined and better than the previous initial or repeatable ones. The fourth one is your managed. So detailed measures of software process and product quality are collected. Both the software process and products are quantitatively understood and controlled. In this, the suitability of the process in multiple environments has been tested and the process is refined and adapted. The process quality is established from this level, right? So, for example, a surgeon performing an operation 100 of times with level of negative outcomes approaching 0. Last one is optimizing, right? So, highest level. So, the continuous process improvement is enabled by quantitative feedback from the process and from piloting innovative ideas and technology. So, it is nothing but a characteristic of processes at this level that the focus is on continually improving process performance through both incremental and innovative technology improvements. At maturity level 5, at this level, maturity level 5, which is optimizing, processes are concerned with addressing statistical common causes of process, its variation and changing the process. For example, to shift the mean of the process performance. This would be done at the same time as maintaining the likelihood of achieving the established quantitative process improvement objectives. So, this particular model was originally intended to evaluate the ability of government contractors to perform a software project, and it has been used for and may be suited to that purpose, but people say that there are issues, right? That the process maturity according to CMM was not necessarily mandatory for successful software development, right? So even after all these maturity levels, it's not guaranteed to have a software, although it is well in practice, right? It is well in practice. So then what we have is, we have this particular, I took this particular content from CMM guidelines for improving the software process, EMU SEI. When you Google it, you'll get the entire white paper on it. Right. So all this for today's lecture. See you soon.